All right, we're the MMA Junkie Radio team. We're going to give you our highs and lows from this past week/weekend. Goes, you start off with your low.
My low for this weekend has to be Khabib Nurmagomedov. He has a perfect record in the cage as a fighter, but he suffered a loss as a human being. And what angered me the most about it is he came so close to being a perfect role model, an example for a lot of kids, a hero. He was right there. All he had to do was just survive that little ending, and he let the emotions get the best of him. I know that's not who you are, Khabib. I know you can bounce back from that, and I hope you do, because you did everything right up until that point.
How about you, Dan Tom? What's your low?
Well, if we're going to talk about checking the emotions of a professional fighter, then I think we got to do the same thing on the other side, the fans who watch the sport, because their reactions from going into the fight week to obviously everyone had a lot to say afterwards was just so even volatile on a level for even MMA fans. You know, I understand that you're going to get this percentage of society on social media, every sport. You know, you're going to have your masses, your casuals, your general population, however you want to label it. But am I wrong that I would want maybe a little bit better from our own MMA fans, especially on a night like this where we really where our sport can be looked at in a lot of different ways? It's going to be catching a lot of different eyes from those antics that were just talked about. And I you know, not that my expectations are super high, but was really let down by the way MMA fans are kind of devolving the arguments and really doing what we're accusing the fighters of doing by getting ugly with race and other things that are really unneeded.
Yeah. Milo, I guess, follows what Goes was saying. You know, Khabib Nurmagomedov, he won a vacant title back in April. If you recall, they stripped Conor McGregor, and then, you know, Tony wasn't able to defend his interim title, Tony Ferguson. So when he fought Al Iaquinta, the belt was up for grabs, and he bested Al that night. He became the champ. So he never had that moment that other champions get, and that's when they beat the former champion. In this fight, he was able to fight the guy that was the last undisputed champion in Conor McGregor. He fought a great fight. He defeated him. And like Goes said, we all know what happened, the melee afterwards. But it was that one moment, you know, and I know it hurt Khabib because you could tell he wanted that one moment of getting the belt placed on him. And that's, of course, what led Dana White to say, hey, if I do this, there may be a riot. It's all because he just wasn't thinking, and you know, he created that situation for himself by jumping outside. But I love those moments in sports, raising trophies and confetti that flies out, you know, from the crowd, or raising a cup, whatever it is. I just love those ceremonial moments, and we didn't get one on Saturday night. And it's unfortunate because Khabib earned it. He defeated the former undisputed champion. So that was my personal low. Let's turn it up now. Let's go with some highs. How about you, Dan? You go first this time.
Man, my high, I love watching people overcome adversity, whether it's in a fight, in life, and if they can do it both at the same time, man, how do you not take your hat off? And that's Tony Ferguson. He's a guy I've been championing hard for a while he's on this impressive run, the most impressive run, by the way. You know, like John Anik pointed out, sure, Khabib had a 10-fight winning streak going into the night as well, but a lot of his was at catchweights. I mean, Tony Ferguson has had just the craziest strength of schedule competition. I don't feel it gets enough credits from fans, odds makers, or pundits. And again, on the biggest night, he showed out, and regardless of it might not get attention that it deserves with all the stuff that happened in the main event, I got to give Tony Ferguson mad credit for his rise and just sustaining where he's at.
How about you guys?
Well, my high goes to my mother, our mother. She actually caught the fight. Points already for doing that. But then the next morning at breakfast, she told us that she was just mentally and emotionally exhausted. And if you're a hardcore MMA fan, you know exactly what she's talking about. So I love you, Mom, for taking the time to watch our sport, and I hope we didn't shy you away from it.
Yeah, really. Yeah, she loved the drama of it, that's for sure, but I think that's what drained her. All right, my high was the Derek Lewis fight. This guy dug deep. You know, look, he could have fought better. I think he'll be the first person to tell you that. Alexander Volkov was a game opponent. But the fact that he never shut it down, and with 11 seconds left, he was able to knock down Alexander Volkov and then go out there and get the finish. That just goes to show you, man, never quit on yourself. It may not be your best night, and you may not realize that until that moment. In fact, I think Dan just told me a few minutes ago, so this is a Monday that we're taping this, that he had broken one of his knuckles, and he was having equipment failures. I'll put it to you like that.
Yeah.
So either way, sometimes it's just not your best night, but you go out there and you still believe in yourself and work towards the end, and Derek did. That made him $170,000. That was his win bonus. So not only did he get the win, not only did he get to talk with Joe Rogan about what's next, and the name DC and world title, or excuse me, title was brought up, he got that win bonus. So good on you, Derek Lewis, for not quitting on yourself and for giving it your all, even on the night where you weren't performing your best. There you have it. There's our highs and lows for this past week/weekend.